Hi everyone, it's the Canny Crafter and I'm here with a video request from Colleen A. Hi Colleen. She wants to know more about die cutting machines, and I'm guessing there's a few more people out there as well. This machine is normally off camera to my left. When you see me disappear and then you hear a whoo, that's this machine. Unfortunately, I've had a look and I can't seem to find this machine specifically. This is a Sizzix Big Shot. It's electric. It's just a touch of a button. Normal machines you will see, which I've got one of somewhere, but I've put it away. It'd be like it would fold out and it would have a handle that you would crank. It's easy to do, but if you do as much die cutting as I do in one go, your arm is going to be aching. I don't know if that is just me, but yeah, I could only use that for short periods of time. When I wanted to start doing videos, I realised it wasn't going to be feasible. I do know Gemini do an electric machine. That's what I've been looking at, because if you've watched my other videos, this one has a bit of a dodgy switch. But I love it and I'm going to persevere with it. So let's begin. The only difference between this machine and a hand crank machine is the fact that there is a hand crank. It's the same principle. It's rollers that put pressure on and you'll get your cut or you will get your embossing. So I suppose we should start with the basics first. Embossing is making an indent into your paper or card. Embossing folders tend to look like this. They're just plastic folders. They'll have an indent in one side and they'll be raised on the other. You put your paper or whatever between, it's called a folder because it's hinged. You run it through your machine and you will have a textured pattern piece of paper. Your dies, which are the things that cut, come in, I've seen them in two different forms and I have both of them. So this can either be plastic or metal, and then it's foam on the other side. You don't think it's going to do anything, but it will, and it's perfectly safe to touch. You know, you can press it on your hand, you're not going to get cut or anything. These were like the way dies originally came when machines started. But now the most popular form of die that you will see is something that Sizzix call thinlits. I don't know if everybody else calls them thinlits, but they are essentially just pieces of metal. And again, perfectly safe to touch. It's not going to cut you. You know, I can push it in my hand. Apologies, I should have put a plaster on and covered that up. That's off a Stanley now. Perfectly safe, not going to touch it. So you can cut various things. You can cut your paper. You can cut scrapbook paper, which is slightly thicker. You can cut cardstock. You can cut acetate, and this is a laminated sheet. I've tried cutting fabric. I've not had any success with that, but other people might have. Maybe there's some trick to it, I don't know. But what else you're going to need to know is plates. So if you don't get these right, this is where the trial and error comes in. So essentially, let's pull these out. These are removable. You have a base plate. Oh, I should also say die machines come in different sizes. You can get Didi ones, you can get A4 ones, you can get, what am I trying to think of, these, you can get extender plates. It's just for your needs what you need. Okay, so we'll have this base plate. This is not a cutting platform. This is just what you need to create the pressure. So that always goes on the bottom. This plate you use depending on your needs. So if I was to use an embossing folder, I wouldn't need this plate. If I was to use one of the thicker dies, I wouldn't use this plate. But you do need this plate if you are using your thin dies. So that would go next. Then you have your main, what I call the main plates. These are the ones that you are going to have to replace from time to time because they do wear out. As you can see, this one has got some marks on it from where I've been die cutting my Christmas cards and whatnot, and they've had like little jemmies and stuff on. This one I've just got out, and as you can see, it's got the die outline there. That is normal. You can keep reusing this plate until it gets to a state where, do I have one? I don't think I do. It'll basically get to a state where it's warping and you'll start seeing indents on the things you're cutting, and that's when you want to replace it. And you would do that. You would do your paper, then your die. Now dies you can hold into place. I normally just keep a bit of washi tape here. You can hold it into place there, and then you'll put your top plate on. I like to just push it up till you feel that resistance, and then I press my button, or you would hand crank. You can go back the other way if you want. Make sure you get a good and proper cut. Remove your top plate. Remove your die and your paper. You can peel this off, it's such a satisfying sound. Now this is what we call the negative. Don't throw it away, it is very useful. I mean, if we put that on that, isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? That would make a nice little cluster actually. Okay, another thing I would suggest you get if it doesn't come with your machine is a pokey tool. It's just a bit of metal. This one's a bit worse for wear because I have abused it. Okay, so we want to poke out. I don't know if you can see some of the negative space is still in there. You just poke it out. Like so. I tend to just throw these away, but I've had an epiphany. Thanks to Gina at Perfectly Imperfect Journals. I could probably use these in some way. So I think I may start keeping them. Here, I don't know if you can see all these little dots. You just get your pokey tool, you poke through a dot, it's going to lift this up on the underside, and you can just start peeling. You might come across some points of resistance. You can just go and pick another dot to go through. And then normally when you get going, say you're away, and you have a perfect snowflake, which coincidentally, if you layer them up, make pretty flowers also. So that is how to use the Thinlit die. So as I say, if I was to use one of these thicker dies, I would remove this plate. So I have my large platform, I have what I would call the base plate, then I have my paper, then I have my die, and then I have my top plate. So I push it till I feel that resistance. And I don't know if you saw there, my plates weren't lined up. As long as your die is covered, you're fine. You can just remove that. Again, we have the negative space. Oh, look at how cute that looks with that little snowflake in there. And then we have the die itself, the die cut shape, sorry, itself. So embossing, again, we don't need this. We just need the thick platform, the base plate. I just have this scrap of red paper. I've seen some people spritz the paper. You can get what's known as cracking and some tearing. But I think it just adds to the effect. This is a great way to add texture to your journal. So just sandwich your paper between. Embossing folder down, top plate on, and away we go. That noise there is the plates releasing from the rollers. Perfectly fine. How many of you jumped? And then we'll just remove that. And there you have a beautifully embossed bit of paper. You can use it this side up where it's raised, or I've done this accidentally. I've done this on purpose. You can use it the other way so it's indented. How cool is that? You can also just put some ink over that to really make a feature of it if you would like. What else? What other top tips do I have? Die organisation. I swear by these magnetic sheets in these envelopes, just so you can see the dies you have if you have a lot of them. Got those from Amazon. I'll try and link them down below. You might have quite a resistant material. Let's see. This, for example, is a glittery cardstock. It doesn't like dyes. I tend to just put, so if I was using a thin die, I would put in my two platforms. I would put my plate, my base plate. I would put, hang on, we'll cut a bit down. Well, let's demonstrate. So I'll put that down. Get a die out, just a little one. Okay. This is what it's like, just as is. And I've taken it through twice. Oh. It's going to make a lie out of this. Normally, what happens is this top glitter layer won't cut. Can I just say that on that with a gemmy in the middle? Beautiful. So if you do need a little extra pressure, and I mean it's just going to be the littlest bit, I would use a shim. It's a piece of scrap card. I think it's some packaging material. It's thin. It's just the tiniest extra bit of pressure. Just going to force that die down a little bit further. You could cut through this, as I say. Oh, that's the other thing. So, as I say, die machines come in different sizes. The most standard size, I think, is this size. It's like A5. Obviously, I could extend these plates to the length of my base plate if I wished. I think think it's Helen Griffin does dies at like A4 size. I think the Gemini machine might go up to A4. Don't quote us on that though. So just be careful when you are ordering your dies that they're going to fit on your platforms. Where to buy them? Amazon, AliExpress, Temu if you want really cheap ones. You can get them second hand, eBay, your craft shops. Here in the UK I know Hobbycraft and The Range sell them. We are very limited with craft shops. If you're just starting out, I would say have a look like Facebook Marketplace, something second hand. I know a lot of people are shifting from this to the Cricut. I bought a Cricut, but I've yet to fully commit to that transition because I have my favourite dies. I love using them. I just love the process of it as well. It's quite cathartic, really. I think that's it. I mean, if you have any other questions, if you can think of something I've not covered, please put them in the comments and I will answer them. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun elements and there's different ways to use them in a journal. So for instance, I use them as page decorations. I use them as focal points. I use them in clusters. Negatives I use as tuck spots and pockets. You know, if you back that onto, because this is quite a thin paper, onto a thicker cardstock, and we'll go that way, cut that out, you could have a little tuck spot on your page. And then what I always think is fun is the thing you're tucking in your tuck spot could have the positive on it as the focal point. And these are nice as well. Use them on borders on pages, things like that. I mean, if you can also layer up. So if you cut several of these out and layer them up, you could get quite a thick element, which you could then punch a hole through and use as like a charm dangle. I've not done that. There's an idea. This is the laminate cut out with circle die. I mean, that would make a fun little dangle element as well because it's thick, it's stiff. You know, you could just put an eyelet through there, a bit of ribbon or a pin. Possibilities are endless. So let's have, I've just realised I have examples of things in here that I've made with dies. Let's have a look. It's just this is how heavy this machine is. I would also say a machine like this size, electric, you want something where you could have it permanently, which is why I have it over here. So see, a die cut negative and like a little cluster, a die cut negative double belly band. There's the positive from that on a little tag journal card. Got just a little one there. Do believe, yep, that is the heart from there. Wildflowers, just out of scraps. It's a great way to use up your scraps as well. Just as a focal point, and that was cut from that bit. Sentiments, you can get words. So cute. That's a die cut. That is just a little flap placement holder. Another die cut, just a focal point down there. And another die cut as a focal point on a pocket. And there you go. Just all of the things you can do. And also, if you have an Etsy shop, and you've got like a die that's a bit obsolete, you could die cut a load of stuff and sell them. But yeah, I think that. Oh, that on there with an eyelet through it. Let's do that. Let's just quickly do that. I hope I am still recording. Yes. Right, let's find an eyelet. I do believe it's going to be a silver one because it's wintry. So if we just sort of find the centre for that, punch our hole, will this fit? And we may have to bend place our eyelet in. And this is a crocodile. Again, another investment tool, but it's so fun to use. You can get different style, shape and size of eyelets too. Look at that. That's cool. I like that. And look at it on there. So pretty. What about... Oh, the contrast of the red is nice as well. So there you go. There's another idea for layering dies. You don't have to just use them singularly. It's not as in the centre as I'd like, but you know what? I'm not aiming to be perfect. Shout out to Gina. I don't know why I said it like that. So I will leave you there with that. I hope this has answered your questions. As I say, if there's anything more you want to know, type me down below and I will try and answer them. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.